Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. When I tell you there has been no video that has been requested more than today's topic, I am finally getting around to it on this beautiful day. It's very sunny in here, guys. I am so sorry about all of the glaring, the sun, but I hope you guys still enjoy the message today because I don't know, today felt like a good day for me to touch on this subject about just being single in your late 20s. And honestly, this can go for anybody that is late 20s and then after that as well, because it seems to be quite an interesting subject that women are super lonely or they're not finding the right partners and they are just really struggling to settle down. And I think that it's an interesting topic because as someone who has been in a committed relationship and also has now been single for 2.5 years, I just think that a lot of the things that people talk about, it tends to be a little bit odd in my opinion, because it feels like whenever these topics do come up that it kind of shows how male-focused a lot of people's lives are. I remember when I became single, and even as recently as this summer and even into September, October, November, whatever, I still to this day get questions from girls like, do you ever think you're gonna find someone again? Do you ever think you're gonna get married? Are you happy really being alone? Are you just saying that? And it's a very interesting topic because I think that a lot of people really are obsessed with other people's loneliness and whether or not women are truly actually happy being alone. And although I can understand that it's very possible that some people may not be happy alone, there's a great amount of people who are also very unhappy in relationships, but I don't know, maybe that's just not discussed enough. I think that for me, I don't want to give advice on dating in this part of my life anymore because I'm still navigating and figuring it out myself. What I would much rather do, and what today's video is really about, is just sharing the things that I've learned and the things that I've gone through in dating in my later 20s and how I feel about it in just being single, taking some time off from dating, and just truly pouring into myself. A lot of you ladies, and I want this video to be women focused today. If there's a few men watching, hi, how are you? I think you guys can take something out of this as well, but this seems to be an obsession for a lot of women, which is why I want to touch on women today. You need to understand that there is so much more to life than being married, than being with a person, than, having a man in your life. And although it is a wonderful and incredible feeling when you find really great people to do life with, it is not the end all be all. I think two things can be true at the same time. You can want love and want to be married and still be okay with being alone. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't have any hate in my heart. I don't have jaded feelings in my heart in regards to meeting a person, but I also don't really focus on it much. It's something that does come up from time to time with my girlfriends if they'll ask me. A lot of my friends are in relationships, whether they are engaged or in boyfriend and girlfriend relationships, so I think it just naturally comes up when we hang out because I'm the single friend. And that's usually when it gets brought up, but then once I step outside of that, I do my life, I hang out with my dogs, I'm filming videos for you guys, I'm going to the gym. These are not things I focus on. I don't focus on my dating life and I don't focus on men really. So I want to help people get to this point. This isn't really advice, again, because I'm still navigating dating on my own, but it's more so of just things that I've figured out, realizations I've had, and hopefully it can help somebody. I really want to discuss how to optimize this time in your life, whether you're 26 and up. I'm 26, so I'm just pretending like we're gonna be 26 and up watching this. If you're younger, of course you can still watch, but for argument's sake, if you're 26 and up and you want to learn how to optimize your life, live happier, live healthier, feel good about where you're at, then keep on watching because I'm going to share with you guys how I've been doing it and how it's actually been working for me. And I'll share some personal stories as well because I think that just really seals the deal. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you guys like these types of topics from me. And yeah, guys, let's just get into today's topic. Literally the first thing that I have written down, guys, and this is no shade, but all tea, is get a life, ladies. I wrote that. No, seriously, get a life. I think that when you become super obsessed with something, whether it's with a man, with the idea of a man, with being married, with being single for long, with dating really shitty guys, whatever. It's time for you to refocus on what life really is about. Although, yes, we could, if we really wanted to, make our entire lives about men. Is that truly how you would want to reflect on your life 50 years from now? I think that everybody's life on this planet serves a specific purpose. And I know for me, finding my purpose was crucial in my own journey of even finding myself. Because for many years, I thought that being in love was the end all be all. And I think it stemmed from the fact that I grew up without my biological father in the picture. I was such a lover myself, and I think that I yearned for something that I never actually had. But I think what ended up healing that spirit of mine was getting into decently healthy relationships in my adolescent teen years, and then it kind of going into my adult years as well, that I realized, and it was kind of a painful realization if I'm being honest, that there was more to my life than being with someone. I literally thought all of the years I was a teenager and even in early adulthood that all I wanted was to be married and to have a person that I could do life with, and that was really it. But when I got older, I realized that my purpose was deeper and that there was more that I wanted out of life, and that particular idea was not fulfilling for me. Although you can have love and you can have a purpose and goals and things like that, I think that where I was at in my life when I ended up becoming single was realizing that I needed to figure myself out first before settling down, before realizing what it was that I wanted with a man. I needed to work on Hailey. I had traumas I had to heal. I had a lot of things I wanted to work on within. There was a lot of goals I wanted to meet and make, honestly, on my own, dare I say. And there was just a part of my life that needed nurturing solo. So I think that for me, the biggest takeaway was it's important to just get a life. Even when you start to fall back into old habits, right? Where you're like becoming obsessed with the idea of dating someone, or you're thinking about guys all the time, your life is very male-centered, you're getting ready to go sit at the bar in hopes you'll meet someone. And I think that there's a time and a place for everything. I'm not going to demonize anyone's journey because I've been there and I've done that. But where I'm at, it is completely out of that vortex. I am no longer doing things in hopes of finding someone, in hopes of meeting someone, in hopes that someone will like me, in hopes that somebody will notice me. I'm just honestly living my own personal life, which is pursuing my hobbies and passions, doing things specifically for my own health and wellness, like going to the gym and walking and hanging out with my dogs and, getting some sun, some vitamin D, just having a way about my life that is very focused on my own happiness. That's not to say that a man can't make me happy, but as of right now, considering I don't have anyone, why would I be pursuing happiness with a man? If that makes sense. Control your urges and discipline yourself. What I mean by this is, I think that a lot of us, we love to say we're abstinent for life and I'm waiting till marriage, and it's a cool sentiment. I think that a lot of people can do it, but for the most part, even just with talking to women all the time, I am very much aware that you guys are having sex and occasionally sleeping around. I think that when you get to my big age and older, I think it's important to at least reel it back a little bit and control your urges. I am not saying that you can't have a hookup from time to time if that's what serves you good. But what I'm saying is there has to be a bigger purpose to doing things. And I think sexual discipline is super important in women that are trying to grow and evolve and become the best versions of themselves, because you're taking a step out of all of the things that kind of feel low vibrational. Now, of course, I do believe in, finding yourself, and if that's the way to do it, then no problem. I just know for me personally, and again, this is not an advice video, this is a Hailey self-actualization video, more of like a diary spill of how I've been living. I know me. I can't have a situationship. I can't have a man that I casually sleep with because I fall in love. I get excited about them. I want to take care of them. I am a natural nurturer by nature. I will meet a man, sleep with him, and invite him back for dinner, want to massage his feet and do things for him because that's just how I've always been. And I don't want those qualities to be suppressed. I think for a long time, like the feminine movement, I was getting very obsessed with it and wanting to take away parts of myself that I do naturally, like cook and clean and taking care. But I realize now I don't want to take those away from myself. That's just who I am. But I just want to give them to the right people. So hooking up with a man and giving him that is a little bit odd to me. And it makes me create a false sense of hope in my mind of what this could be. And because I want to grow, evolve, and change, meet a husband, and meet someone of just absolute quality and good manner, I will not be engaging in those low vibrational activities on a religious basis. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, like I said, back to square one, getting a life is important. Finding passions and hobbies, burying yourself in all of those things, becoming a creative, doing things that serve you good, making sure you work and you eat and you play and you have fun and you let your hair down without the idea of what a man thinks or without the idea of how to attract someone. It is important that we are just truly trying to attract ourselves to ourselves and finding ourselves in it. And for me, I have found so much beauty in caring about myself in that way. Number two, guys, in just kind of decentering your life from men and enjoying your singlehood is to upgrade yourself for you. There is this idea that if you become skinnier, sexier, and better, that you'll attract more men. And I think that you will. But the truth is, guys, you don't really have to do a lot to attract a man. You can literally just purely exist and men will like you. I hate to break it to you, but men are not picky. I think that what's important is that you upgrade yourself for you. And when I started doing that, it actually was more fulfilling and became a little bit more cathartic for me because I started doing things that I actually enjoy and that I think make me feel beautiful rather than what I think somebody else will find beautiful within me. When it pertains to my fashion sense, I think for a long time I would buy things that I think would get me attention, and although this is a very sexy dress, I fell in love with it because I really think I look beautiful in it and it attracts myself to me and it just makes me feel beautiful. So I think it's really a mindset shift in all of that. When you upgrade yourself for you, it's not really so much about tailoring your looks specifically to the female gaze, because I think that we as women tend to do that anyways. We not only want to attract men, but we sometimes want to attract women. When you take yourself out of that and you really want to work on you, you don't even want to attract the female gaze or the male gaze anymore. It's really just all about how you can attract yourself. So I do what makes me feel beautiful. When people will comment like, oh, your eyebrows are too thick or you did this and that, it's like, I get it and I appreciate your commentary, but I like it. I think I look really great. So that's kind of where I'm at. So upgrade yourself for you, your looks, your weight, your intelligence, and your opportunities. And recognize that this makes your dating pool smaller. The more that you recognize that being beautiful and smart and wonderful and kind are actually pretty rare qualities. And I'm not saying that nobody can be those things, but for the most part, a lot of people tend to fall short. And they don't want to pour into themselves, whether it's because of work or kids or a man is draining them for everything they have. Because let's be honest, a lot of men can be parasites in your life. When you actually pour into yourself fully, your dating pool becomes smaller because usually like attracts like, and to find someone that is like you is actually quite difficult. So I just think that keeping yourself busy and thriving will actually keep you uninterested in certain things. I don't have time and space in my head to really care about whether or not something is working out between me and another person. I think it's wonderful to meet someone. It's wonderful to have all of those feelings, but I think for me, like, I always come back to the place in my mind of, but if everything were to fall apart tomorrow, where do you stand in your life? Did you stop everything and, nurture this person? I think that in the past, that's what I did. And I think that this was God's way of showing me that it was important for me to take this time to nurture myself fully in my looks, in my emotional intelligence, in my spirituality, and a lot of things I needed to nurture on my own, because when I was with someone, although I was never truly neglectful of myself, I definitely didn't pour into myself the same way. And I want to get to a point where if I do meet someone again that's going to be my forever person, that it's not going to take away from the things that I do for myself that make me a better woman. The third thing I wanted to mention is, as much as the advice online can be really helpful, I really want you guys to live life on your own terms, or at least that's what I've been doing. Not only has my singlehood taught me about myself when it pertains to dating, but it also kind of taught me about my desires when it pertains to money and lifestyle and peace. I used to think that I wanted certain things that I don't want anymore, and there's things that I never wanted that I do want. And it just sometimes takes being alone in your thoughts, being alone in your life, and living it to really see that. So I really think the importance of living life on your own terms is important, because although other people have great advice from time to time, maybe that isn't what's fulfilling to you. And not everybody's story is going to resonate. So for me personally, there's certain things that I just won't do that I hear people say to do. I just won't do it. I don't care. It's not fulfilling to me. This is your story. This is your plan, and it's your life. This is the time in your single journey to create what it is that gives you comfort, peace, and true happiness. Sometimes it's going to take trial and error. I know for me, what I've been loving recently has been solo dates. I love going out to dinner. I don't like the idea of being single and being stuck in the house. That always bothered me, and I always thought that those two things correlated. But I realized, no, Hailey, you just have to take yourself out, get dressed up, sit at dinner, and enjoy yourself. And I meet people all the time when I'm out. I also am just enjoying my own company. The food, I'm able to really taste it and enjoy it because I'm not talking and engaging. I'm just able to enjoy it on my own. Also, I've been loving just pouring into different hobbies and passions of mine. I get work done more efficiently. And I am just someone who nurtures parts of myself that maybe I overlooked for many years. This is my story and my plan. And this has allowed me, and this time has allowed me to figure out what it is about myself that gives me true purpose. Even just like, and I've talked about this in so many videos, guys, buying this house has made me a different woman. I know that that sounds super cheesy and stupid, but it's real. Like, I'm a different woman since moving into this home. I think for many years, and honestly, years ago, if somebody would have told me, oh, this is the house you would have lived in at 26, I would have been like, how dare you? I'm going to live in a high rise. And it's just, I've had a lot. I've also had very little. And I think that what I've learned is creating the life that I want was way more important than creating a life that everyone thinks that you should have. Because although some people have great ideas, it's not necessarily the idea that is best suited for you. I love my home because it's quiet. It's a sanctuary. There's so much sun. There's so much peace. I can tell that there was so much love in this house prior to me moving into it. And I feel that every morning when I wake up. I feel so much sense of purpose. I get so excited about the idea of gardening and, decorating and just being truly in my divine feminine in a homeowner standpoint. And it's just given me so much, guys. I really feel super nurtured in this part of my life. So that's kind of what I mean about living life on your own terms. What is your dating requirements that are specific to you? What do you want in a partner? What do you not mind and what do you mind? These are things that you can think about and talk with yourself about prior to meeting someone and figure that out. If going to the Cheesecake Factory really isn't an issue for you, go. I don't know why everyone acts like it's such a big deal, but hey, it's up to you, babe. It's up to you. Some things work and other things don't, and that's okay. The next thing I want to discuss is soft life and embracing it. And even just if you're a Black woman watching this video, and honestly a woman of color or a minority of some sort, of course being a woman is technically a minority, so to an extent, everyone will understand this, but as a Black woman, I think we are raised and taught and expected to never fail and to be very hypervigilant and to not relax. And it's harder for us to be soft. And I think it's important that you utilize this time in your single journey to be soft. I am learning that it's okay that I don't want to work super hard today. And I think that that was always demonized or criticized for many years because I think that people expect you to do a lot when you're a woman or when you're a woman of color. But I found so much peace and comfort, and it has helped me embrace my single journey in a different way. I romanticize my special time. I am understanding the importance of getting out of survival mode. I don't know, guys. It's just survival mode does correlate with dating, because if you are in survival mode and you're always super hyper vigilant and always scared and always in fear and always worried and always doing, then you tend to gravitate towards certain men who can give you that sense of peace and security. Although I do want a man to come into my life and treat me like a princess and give me certain parts of what I think a woman deserves from a man that can make their life a little bit better, I really don't want to be in a place in my life where I feel like I need that. And I feel like if I don't have it, I'm going to lose my mind. I think that that is the true foundation to happiness when it pertains to your single journey, is giving yourself everything you need alone. So that although it's really nice when somebody else gives it to you and you really do appreciate it because it gives that weight off your shoulders, you still can give it to yourself and you won't be lost or broken if it gets removed. I don't want to be saved. I just don't. I want to be enhanced. I want somebody to come into my life and make my life better, but I don't want to be saved. And I think that going back into the soft life, this is where it comes in. Resting in your feminine, taking charge of things that are important to you, becoming confident, finding your passions and dreams and goals important, because those are the things that you've cultivated on your own that nobody can take from you. Understanding the importance of financial freedom, even as a woman standing alone. I don't care what anyone says. I think it's important that a woman has her own coin. And it's just very crucial to me. I think that even for me, even going back into this is your story, this is your plan, this is your life, creating life on your own terms recently, and I discussed this in my last video that was a girl chat about how I have found that intentions are important to me, and a man pouring into me emotionally is what truly would satisfy me and make me feel whole. It's crazy. I actually went on a date with a guy recently, and not to give too much detail because I don't like to talk about my dating life much anymore, but he was a wonderful man. He really was. And although we are not seeing each other at the moment, the takeaway that I got from the date, and I said this to my girlfriend on the phone, I said, he's the first guy I've ever met that makes me want to be a better woman. That's kind of crazy. Like when I was with him on the date, I'm thinking about how he is so wonderful, so self-actualized, and he really had his shit together. And it was so beautiful to watch, and it made me not want to fall short as a woman. Like, not saying that I want to fall short in my own life, but I think that when you're alone, you slack a little bit more and you naturally just fall into old habits at times. He was the first man that I met that I said, holy shit, I want to be better because I've met him. And if we were together and if we ended up getting married, he would hold me to that. I would feel held to that in the best way possible. And I think that that is a really beautiful full circle moment in my own life, that I realized that that is something that I want to feel with a partner now. I never knew that that was important until I met him. I didn't care for that. I always thought I was great on my own. I never thought I needed to become better or anything, but he made me want that and desired that more deeply than I thought I ever could, being in the presence of someone else. I think it's important that we pour into ourselves in ways that acknowledge all of our feelings and emotions. To conclude today's video, I want to say this. Yes, guys, I get sad. I get hurt. Sometimes I don't feel as great. Sometimes I'm having great days. Some days I'm not. I acknowledge those feelings. I will pour into myself in ways that allow me to express myself in a healthy way by going to the gym, having a cry session in the shower, pouring into my creative passions that help me kind of express myself in that way. I have loved, I have lost, I have experienced pain and trauma, but I don't want to live in that. I am not a woman who wants to live in my own misery and spend every day of my life in a lack there mindset. I am in abundance mindset. I don't fear what I know is going to happen. I know I'm going to end up married. I know I'm going to end up with someone great. I much rather know that, work on myself in the process to become the person that earns and deserves the person that I want, so that when it happens, it's a harmonious, healthy connection. And even if something were to happen, because things do, I will still be okay. I hope this video helped you. I don't want to spend too much time harping on breakups, how to get over them, being single, why you should fear it. No, get a life. Men are not and should not be the focus of our lives. Dating should not be the focus of our lives. Yes, I do believe that it's important for women to understand that we were brought to this earth to end up with somebody at some point. I think that, yes, that was God's intention, was for us to meet someone. But until then, relax, chill, be okay, acknowledge your feelings, but also let them pass and keep it pushing. I don't want to spend every day of my life with the shoulda, woulda, couldas. I'd much rather just spend it pouring into myself, enjoying my life, having the life that I live, embracing all the thoughts and feelings that I have. And until I meet my Mr. Everything, I'm just going to be fine. I'm going to be just fine. And so will you. I hope you guys enjoyed today's topic as much as I enjoyed making it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone. Mwah.